taking care of myself. I got good mental health. I found all the answers when I started searching for myself. I'm protected, I got guidance, mind and body in alignment. Yeah, my spirit guides a diamond. They say they love to see me thriving. I got love, got good health, got some money, I got wealth. Been taking care of myself. I got good mental health.
Okay, my loves, I will allow the people who are running late to come in as they may at this point so that we can get started. I'm so excited to have you all here with me and to be diving into fairy energy. Like, I attract so many fairy sisters because I have such a fairy energy. And I loved creating this and like just thinking of all the people in my community that are fairies. And I was like, and this person, like, I really do attract so many. So, if you don't know if that's you yet, you will uncover that you have some fairy energy today. If you found yourself here in the magic with us. Um, and we will also be talking about how to harness and amplify fairy energy. So, you may be somewhat disconnected from your fairy energy and we will be talking about that too. So, this is perfect for everyone, whether you are like so in your fairy and you are looking to ground a little more into the earth, human realm, I should say, or if you feel a little disconnected from your fun, flighty fairy and you want to add a little more fun and play into your life, this is for you as well. So, there's kind of two sides to the coin here. So, I would love to just ground into the space together and set some intentions. Then we'll light a candle together and we will go into the presentation. So I invite you all to find a comfortable seat and close down your eyes. And we will take a deep breath in through the nose together, filling up the low belly and womb first, and then all the way up to the chest and throat. Exhaling out the mouth with a sigh. Grounding into your seat on every exhale, breathing in through the nose again, slow and deep, all the way down to the low belly or womb first, and letting it go out the mouth. Feeling a little heavier on your seat, and we'll be taking our third deepest breath of your day so far. Breathing in through the nose and releasing anything from earlier in your day on this exhale. Sometimes natural movements want to come out on those exhales. Let it out. You are muted. I cannot hear you. So, keeping the eyes closed, I would love for us to just take a moment to feel the earth's energy below us. Mother Earth, Mama Gaia, which is always below us, supporting us, and available for us to connect with to ground our energy with her and with this planet. And as we inhale through the nose, feeling the earth's energy rising to meet you exactly as you are, and feeling more grounded and relaxed on your exhale out the mouth. Grounding our energy one step further now by either feeling or visualizing a beautiful golden root growing from the bottoms of your feet and your root chakra. So your root chakra is at the base of your spine, so about where you're sitting. Imagining these beautiful golden roots from your feet, from your root, growing down into the chair and floor below you. Down all the way to the base of the home or the building that you're in. and then piercing the earth and beginning to travel into the earth's core. And whether you can visualize this or not is okay and perfect. I just want you to feel as though your energy is being grounded and connected deeper with the earth. And these roots will continue to grow deeper and deeper into the earth, through the soil, past other roots and rocks, until they wrap around a beautiful glowing white crystal at the earth's core, grounding your energy completely to the earth. And in a moment, we'll take one more deep inhale. And when we do that, we are going to also visualize any stuck energy from earlier this day, earlier this week, or year that you can feel in your body. So take a moment to scan your body. You might notice like a gray, cloudy energy somewhere in your body, maybe in your mind from ruminating thoughts, or in your chest, or maybe even like a buzzing anxiety. See if you can locate some unpleasant, stuck, mucky energy somewhere in your body. And what we're going to do is inhale in through the nose, and on that exhale, we will visualize that energy traveling down your body, going through those roots, traveling down the roots and being absorbed by the earth. The earth can take this from us, can transmute this energy for us, and support us in feeling more calm, at peace, and grounded. So we'll do 3 deep breaths like this together. Now, breathing in through the nose, filling up all the way. And on this exhale, releasing any stuck energy from your body down through those roots, down through your feet, through your root, all the way into the earth, being absorbed by the earth, taken away from you, and the earth transmutes it to love and light. Breathing in through the nose again, identifying any stuck energy that you feel in your body that you're ready to release, and releasing it down and out your body to the earth on the exhale. And last one together now, breathing in through the nose and letting it all go to the earth on the exhale. Thanking Mother Earth, Mama Gaia, for transmuting this energy for us and for always being here as this powerful resource and this grounding force in our lives. And now just taking a moment to connect with your heart. It might feel good to put one hand over your heart to connect with her. Saying to yourself, hello, heart, I love you. And I'm here to connect with you. And see if you have any specific message or intention for me today. Now, this message may come through and not have to do with the class, but I just want you to have an opportunity to receive that. Does your heart have a message for you today? Just ask your heart and be open to receiving what may come through. And then asking your heart if your heart has a specific intention for this class today. Thanking your heart for doing its best to communicate with you, and also knowing that we all have different levels of connection with our bodies and our hearts right now. So you may have had this practice done many a time before and be able to receive messages from your heart easily, or it may be challenging for you to connect with and hear your body. And wherever you're at is totally perfect. And I'm so, so happy to have you here practicing this because the more you practice, the more clearly you are able to restore that channel between your own body, your own soul, and you, and that communication channel. So practice makes perfect with this. So again, just sending some love to your heart. I love you, heart. Thank you for supporting me and receiving an intention or a message for today's class. And then take a moment to drop your hands and visualize the room and the screen in front of you for a moment, just to orient yourself back into the space before you gently bat your eyelashes open and return to me. And if you have a candle with you, this is the time to grab it now. I'm gonna grab this one. Love spell. My lover got this one for me. I usually only light it for my one-on-ones with him in our ceremonies, but it wants to come play today, so it shall. Following the divine inspiration always. And we will light it together. So I will say a prayer before we light it, okay? We'll hold it in our hands together. If it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes as you connect with your candle. And I'm calling in holy spirits of the highest love, light, benevolence, and vibration in service to our highest good and the highest good of all in this planet to please flow through us, support us, guide us, and protect us during this call today. We invite in the highly benevolent fairies to this call today, and they are already around me since before we started. We thank you for your presence here, as well as God, Yeshua, our higher selves, guardian angels, well and healed ancestors, and holy divine spirit guides of the highest love, light, benevolence, and truth to support and guide us in receiving what is most divinely aligned for us to all receive from this class today. And if you have any specific intention that came through when you asked your heart or something that you've wanted to intend even before that, you are welcome to speak that into your candle now. My intention and request for all of you is that during this class, you take what deeply resonates with you as a sign from your soul to look a little deeper in that particular area. So, different aspects of the class will resonate with different people. And I want you to trust that you know from the activation you feel and the excitement you feel in your soul when you hear that particular message, that that is your clue to look a little deeper in that area and to have an open mind and an open heart. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and we'll say, and so it is. Finalizing our intention, and we'll seal it with lighting our candles together, or I am lighting this collectively for everyone here or watching the replay as well. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me in that, my love. I'm so happy to see some beautiful faces here. Fairy faces. Feels so wonderful. There's also like a huge flock of fairies around me right now. I'm here for it. Some of you watching this may be like, what? Fairies are real? This feels a little far-fetched for me. That's okay. This is your edge. But I think by the end of the call, you may realize that they are real and alive and well within a lot of us human beings as well. We have had past lives or parallel lives as fairies in the ethereal realms, and a lot of people who are drawn to my work are connected to the fairy realm. Okay, so I'm going to start with our presentation here. I'm going to share my screen. And share this with you. Welcome to Manifestation Fairy. Can you just give me a little nod if you can see the presentation? Perfect. Okay, so I'm Kelsey. My Instagram is Kelsey the Oracle from Mystical and Fabulous. I did this really awesome fairy photo shoot that I just wanted to highlight on the cover here. My soul sister, Katie, did the shoot for me, and I did have pink hair for a while. So throwing it back to the pink hair days and peach hair. This was super fun. A little about me, I'm a self-love and relationship coach. I'm a psychic medium. Um, my certifications are in self-empowerment coaching and somatic healing. I'm a sacred ceremony facilitator and I'm a love fairy host, which is a new branch of my business. So I've been hosting in-person cacao ceremonies and different types of celebratory ceremonies for all genders and some for women only. But now I'll be traveling to bachelorette parties, birthday parties, and doing different in-person events. And I created some amazing offerings that I'm calling myself the Love Fairy for traveling to your home or your Airbnb. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm now on the Batch app. So cool. Um, a Space Kitty Starseed and Fairy Soul. So some of you may know that what Space Kitty means, because Kelsey the Space Kitty is my like personal IG and Kelsey the Oracle is business. There is crossover for sure. But Space Kitty actually means two things. One, that I am a Leo and I very much resonate in this human realm as being like a kitty lioness. But also, my soul origin is Lyran, which is a feline galactic race. It's a type of star seed, which means that you have incarnated on planets other than Earth in past and parallel lives. So you may or may not know this depending on who's watching. But if you want to know if Space Kitty is an out there, like if it has an out there meaning, it does, but it's so real. It's also so real. The realist, and I'm a fairy soul for sure, very connected to fairy energy as well. I'm a music lover and aspiring DJ. That is part of my Space Kitty as well. That's probably like the bass heavy lover side of me. And my partner and I are going to be collabing on bassy DJ sets with like high vibrational frequencies and transmissions infused into the music. So that is super exciting. And then I also have like a melodic techno DJ side. And then my business name is Mystical and Fabulous. That's my coaching business. So some of you know that already, but welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's dive into fairy energy. These are just some general things about fairy energy. They're magical and supernatural, right? So you literally, like, we can't even see them with the naked eye usually. They're usually depicted with these magic wands. They have pixie dust, fairy dust. They're very connected to just straight up magic. That is one of the qualities about fairies. I have actually seen two or three with my naked eye. This might sound wild again to some of you, but once you really start connecting with them and start opening your psychic senses, that is possible. And it was like, they were like the best days of my life. One of them happened when I was nannying, and my reaction, I was like, "Ah!" And the little girl was like, "Ah!" And then she played along because she like wanted to see one too, right? So then she saw one, and then we went fairy hunting, and it was so cute. But I really freaking saw one. I actually meant to, well, I thought of this too last minute, but I have one on video. And I thought of it, like, right before this call. I was recording a video with my bestie, Katie, and she's super connected to fairy energy too, and one flew in front of the camera, and we even have it on a clip, so I will have to find that. They're dreamers and believers. So fairy energy is a believer that anything is possible. They can manifest so quickly and they dream big. They don't have these like human limitations of, well, no, that's not possible because of XYZ. No, they dream big, they know that anything's possible, and they just go for it. So a lot of those human things that we get ourselves stuck, where we get ourselves stuck is our human mind, and they don't have the same degree of challenge with that stuff. Um, so that's an amazing aspect of fairy energy. They're connected to themselves, spirit, and nature. So this is really important. They are actually a bridge between heaven and earth, which is what we are also here to be as humans. We are the bridge between heaven and earth. We are the ones who are bringing heaven to earth. We are the bringers of the new earth, you may hear it called. Fairies naturally are so connected to nature. They're like flying in and around nature, very connected to the natural world, but they are etheric beings that are connected to the spiritual realm as well. And they're also very connected to themselves and just truth. And so this element is something that is really important in my work, is connecting people with their soul and supporting people and connecting with nature and realizing that everything is connected. Everything is divine, and we have the opportunity as humans, with the abilities that we have as human beings, to really bridge those two and bring heaven to earth. Playful and mischievous or mischievous. I sometimes say one or the other, so I'm not sure the appropriate pronunciation. The reason mischievous is in parentheses is because this can be a shadow aspect of fairy energy. And there's actually low vibrational fairies as well. We are only connecting with the high vibrational ones today, but there are some darker ones that exist in the spiritual and etheric realms, but they're known to be playful. They love to have fun and even party. They love being social. What's coming to me is like Gemini energy. And aren't we in, yeah, like we're in Gemini season. Perfect. I love that I'm having this. I'm like, wait, it is Gemini season. So this Gemini energy, Gemini is like the most chatty, communicative sign of the zodiac. And so fairies very much have that. And they love to play, again, they love to party, but they also love being like a jokester or a prankster. They're known to play pranks on you. Like if you have a fairy spirit guide, they may like take something of yours and like put it in a different place so that it's missing. Amanda said Mercury just moved into Gemini today too. And Mercury is the planet of communication for those of you who don't know. So this is perfect. I love how it always aligns. Um, so yeah, I have a fairy guide or probably several. But I have one main one, but they love playing pranks and tricks on you. Just like little things that might aggravate you or like confuse you. They love that. And it's funny. They love to laugh, but they can take that a little too far, just like we can take that a little too far. Being a little too irresponsible or silly about things that maybe we should care a little bit more about. And maybe we could party a little too hard, which was the shadow aspect of me when I was 23. So that existed. And Lauren on this call was there for that and saw that with her own two eyes. Um, that was fun. And lover boys or girls, okay? So this is not negative or positive, but as with everything, there can be shadow aspects. So they love love. Fairies love romance. Like it's so fun to be flirtatious and have little flings, and they love romance and even like fairy tale love stories. But this can turn into a shadow where they're kind of like overindulging in these connections, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. So let's first talk about harnessing your inner fairy. Learning to open your heart to aligned people. Now, this is the key word, aligned, because there might be two sides of people who are here or watching the replay. You might be someone who opens your heart to everyone and is like an overgiver who really just kind of has that healer energy that's wanting to help, maybe even tends to date people who want or need your help. Um, and you kind of just open your heart to everyone, and you can find yourself experiencing pain, upset, disappointment, even trauma from not having this awareness and these boundaries. Or you could be on the other side of the coin where you now have this protective shield around your heart and you are not really opening your heart to much of anyone. Or maybe you don't open your heart to men, for example, let's say, and you only focus on friendships if you are interested romantically in men. Maybe, you don't open your heart. And then there's this entitlement that I've seen going around lately all over the internet. This entitlement, especially with women. And I'm not here to say like this women's empowerment thing is bad. It's incredible that there's so much women's empowerment stuff on the internet, but some of it crosses the line into entitlement where it's kind of just like you need to do this for me or like fuck you bye. Like you need to be a king for me in this way and this way. And if you do one little thing wrong or if you don't do this for me, if you don't pay for this, like I'm just going to be on my own. And there's some hyper independence and entitlement that's like sneaking in there where people don't realize, oh, I actually have a huge fucking shell around my heart and I'm afraid of love. And this is how I'm making an excuse for it as being women's empowerment. So I want you to just think about which one's probably you, because it's probably one or the other. And harnessing your fairy energy in an aligned, powerful way is when you learn how to deeply connect and communicate with your heart and soul so that you know and receive a message whether or not someone is aligned for you to be opening your heart to. And then you do take that vulnerable leap of faith and open your heart to them to be available to what is possible for you in that relationship. Because if you don't actually open your heart, you're not going to be receiving the fullness that's available to you and connecting with that unconditional love frequency. But we do want to be discerning about who we allow in. So that's one aspect of harnessing your fairy energy. Mindset shifts to believe in your dreams. So a lot of us have deep-rooted beliefs that something isn't possible, or we have a ceiling or a limit of what we think is possible for us. Even when we visualize something in the future, it's like, we might have this vision of like, okay, well, I will probably maximum make $100,000 a year in this career field. And like, that is probably the most I will make. Maybe I'll make that in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And like, then that's just kind of all you see for yourself. And I'm not saying that that wouldn't be an incredible thing for you. But you may be putting a limit on yourself without realizing it because your mind is creating these blocks. And so when we can harness our fairy energy, we realize that there's limitless possibilities to a large degree. There are some limitations on Earth, especially dependent upon where you were born and where you live. But as those of us who live in the United States, we do have a lot of resources available to us and a lot of opportunities for reaching certain levels of growth that your mind probably doesn't even believe is possible right now. So because we have this gift, because we were blessed with this, we should utilize it to the best of our ability and support this planet with our privilege. We need to do that because we are privileged as fuck. Okay. Um, Connect with and respect the natural world. So this is huge. Fairies are so connected with the natural world, as I said. You know that you always see them when you see a fairy. They are usually like on a cute little leaf or something on a lily pad. So they're connected. Their house is made of leaves. Um, Connect with and respect the natural world. The natural world is alive as well. Just because it's not human beings and may not even be animals, it is alive. It's living and it even has consciousness and so much intelligence. Like I'm telling you, the level of intelligence in plants and fungi will blow your effing mind if you have not researched this yet. They are alive with consciousness. And when we're even speaking to them, I mean, there's studies of like pretty well known studies now you just have a plant, a house plant, do it yourself. I mean, I don't really want you to speak negatively to the other plant, but if you wanted to prove it to yourself, get 2 house plants, speak negative words to one of them, and speak loving words to the other one, and the one that is spoken to with loving words will be healthier, visibly healthier plant. So, the way that we treat this planet, the way that we talk to it and relate to it and connect with it is so important, and that's something we can learn from fairies, okay? I had this example that came to mind when I was writing this. Um, just have some root chakra essential oil here. Us with fairy energy, we need a ground on the regular. You can hear me like, this is fairy energy coming at you now. That's it. So we're grounding on the spot. No, but um, I had this memory come to me when I was less connected with the natural world. When I was, again, probably in my early 20s. I just kind of went into this, like, partying phase, and I disconnected from some of that stuff for a few years. I used to be very connected to fairies as a child, but the same woman I was talking about earlier, Katie, we've been friends since we were 5 or 6, so she's been in my field for a long time, and, she never lost that connection. And I remember I must have been, yeah, early 20s, and she made this post about foraging in the forest, and she found this beautiful mushroom, like this gigantic mushroom growing off of a tree, and she posted like this huge monologue about her intimate connection with the mushroom and how she had this ceremonial experience with it and like removing it from the tree and all of this, and she was like crying over it. And I was so disconnected at that time, and it made me feel like so uncomfortable that I remember my mom and I like laughing, and I look back and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that is how the large population of human beings relate to these things because it makes us uncomfortable. It's something outside of our comfort zone because society has made us so disconnected from the natural world that we literally think that is ridiculous." Like, I remember thinking, she's out there. She's what like she really kind of took it a little too far. And now I think it's the most beautiful thing ever that she did that and had that connection with this mushroom, and it like the mushroom is alive with the consciousness, and that was like a sacred transaction she had with the mushroom. And we so the more that we can, and I do not expect everyone who watches this to be ready to ceremonially remove a mushroom from a tree tomorrow, okay? But take it at your stage. Maybe you are ready for that. Or if you're someone who just feels like you haven't fully deeply connected with nature, just go for a nature walk with bare feet on the ground. Start with that. That also just scientifically is very good for your body to walk with bare feet on the ground because of like the electrons and the connection with the earth and you. It'll really ground your energy. So you can start with more scientific basis for walking barefoot on the earth if you'd like. But then just look around you and just start to notice the life that exists within everything that you see. Try to notice the beauty and divinity about how everything in nature works together in the most synchronistic and synergistic way, like magic. Nature is magic. It all works without us intervening. In fact, us intervening typically harms it. It is all working in this such like beautiful divine way, and everything needs one another to survive. And so, maybe the next time you want to kill a bug in your house, you decide that you're going to capture it and release it outside and you're going to like honor the life that exists within it. Or maybe you're just going to notice the blooming flowers and just take a moment to walk and observe nature, and then that will naturally support you in starting to respect it more. Once you can see it and not be disconnected from it and just observe it and realize how insanely divine it all is, you will not want to litter, you will not want to kill bugs, you will not want to do any of that. So we have a lot to learn with fairies in terms of helping this planet. Um, Make time for play that is aligned with your soul. It is so important that we play, and life can get way too serious. Fairies are here to remind us that we have to have fun, we have to socialize. And ever since, the pandemic COVID, I do not feel that people's socialization has fully come back to the way that it was before. And just with the internet and everything now, I'm guilty of it too. I mean, I have an internet-based business for, at least 80% of my business, but we need that human interaction, that play. We need to go out and have fun, go dancing. Fairies love music, they love dancing, they love socializing. So, as you can continue to connect with your soul and learn what is truly aligned for your soul, playing in those ways is so, so important and so nourishing and enlivening to the soul. Um, the reason I capitalized aligned is because if you're largely disconnected from your heart and soul, you could be one of those people who's overindulging in partying, for example, or even like substance use, and you don't realize that it's like not actually serving you. So just kind of be aware of that, and try to connect with yourself before you decide to do something. I don't believe that you should never dabble in anything like that necessarily, but I do believe that boundaries are important, and I believe every single person has their own individual soul-aligned blueprint for that. I believe some people are actually best supported being sober, and some people aren't necessarily. Um, so I don't agree with judging people if they're not sober, for example. Um, but I just want you to connect with your soul and make sure that it's something that's lighting you up and not something that's bringing you down. Um, and then sprinkling a little magic into your life. This could be in any way that feels good to you. Like for me, okay, I got my crown on. I even have a little wand with me today. Okay, this is just a little sprinkle of magic. I love rings. For me, it's like accessories are kind of magical to me. Crystals, but that doesn't have to be your type of magic. Oh, I also have my unicorn bubble maker. Hold on, it's gonna happen in a second. Yeah. This is my magic as well. Um, Such a child at heart. And connecting with what you love to do when you were a child is huge. Like if you want your soul to come alive again, think about what you loved to do as a kid. Like I loved dancing, singing, performing. I even loved pretending I was a teacher. It's all so aligned for what I'm doing now. I even loved making little fairy houses with my friends, and so connect with what you love to do. Did you love art and painting? Whatever it is, doing that thing again can reactivate your soul, because when you were a child, for most of us as children, your soul led you to do something, especially when you were a young child, you probably weren't very influenced by what other people thought yet until you got a little bit older. So you were probably doing things that you just really love to do in your early years of life, and that's your soul speaking to you. So try to think back, because that was authentic AF. I was singing and making up songs since I was 1 year old. Like nobody taught me that. I was just dancing around the kitchen making up nonsense. That's me. That's me. um, but yeah, sprinkling magic into your life can look like even interior decor, grabbing like some twinkle lights for your back patio, or some like sheer linens to go over your window during the day, or something to hang from inside of your car. I guess a lot of like design accessory things, when you look at them, they can just make life feel a little more magical. Making some time to occasionally get a mani-pedi if you can, or buying tarot cards, or just giving yourself a little tarot card reading. If you don't want to spend money, going to the beach, going to new places and exploring, adventuring, just sprinkling more of that into your life so you don't get stuck in the mundane and you have more of like a celebratory energy about life. You just got to celebrate life, because yes, we reincarnate. Don't have to agree with me, but I'm aware that this is factual. Um, but you will not be in this exact life, in this exact body, in this exact home, with this exact family, with this exact everything again. So that you have so many blessings in this incarnation and so many things that are special and unique to this incarnation, and you chose this body for a reason. You chose this place to live for a reason. You chose your parents. You chose the bigger circumstances of your life for a reason. So we are supposed to use our natural gifts, our natural interests, and use the resources we have available to us to make the absolute most out of it and celebrate the fuck out of it and enjoy it. And fairies are here to help us do a little more of that, because I know the world is largely to shit right now. But we are here to bring that higher vibrational frequency in. Even though we have a lot of opposing forces, even though we're not seeing the depths of the change that are going to happen, we have to bring that. And part of that is making time to celebrate and feel alive and not focusing only on the negative in every single moment to the point where it completely dampens your soul. Because your soul is wise and your soul has gifts to share and it wants to be nourished too. Okay, now let's talk about some shadow aspects of the fairy soul. Lack of direction and focus in life, flighty energy. For my fellow ADHD babies. We're just flying and floating around, but we have wings, and we're just flirting with different elements of life, which is beautiful. Such a beautiful gift to bring to the world when we can relate to life that way. But it can be a little bit of a shadow if we're lacking that direction, because in human form, which we're in right now, we are likely meant to achieve and accomplish tangible things that take time. So if that resonates with you, then that message was for you. Not making time for your emotions. So if you had a previous incarnation as a fairy, you probably didn't have to deal with the depths of the emotional experience that humans have to deal with. We require more of that. So when I was talking to the fairies before, they were saying create specific blocks of time where you are tending to your emotions. But if you can, it can support you to create a little time limit. If it's at night, you could just say, until you go to bed, I'm going to process these emotions. But you either spend too much time feeling your feelings and it's dampening your spirit, or you're avoidant of your feelings. It's one or the other. Maybe you guys flip-flop between the two, some of you. But they're saying it is important as a human being to tend to your emotional experience, because it's not the same as being a fairy. You're in this body that probably has stored trauma in it. That's not really a problem that they're dealing with. So we have to tend to those parts of the human experience, but creating little blocks, using your masculine to create that structure around the time frames that you are going to do that, will support you in not getting sucked into that. And every single day and every moment of every day is a somatic processing session. There has to be and now it's off, and now I'm going to go into nature, and now I'm going to go have an adventure and let my fairy soul shine, because I'm going to be healing this shit for a while. And if I focus on this every single moment of every day, the life is going to be drained out of me, which is the opposite of what we're trying to achieve when we're doing healing practices. So use that masculine structure to just create some boundaries for yourself around healing versus play, and make sure both are a part of your life. Being overly flirtatious and promiscuous and non-committal when it comes to love, and or being unrealistic about love. So fairy energy can be, again, very flirtatious. It is a very flirtatious energy, but you could go a little too far with that and have some level of promiscuity and going from person to person without committing, if you desire to be in a committed relationship, which a lot of people who do that actually do desire a divine union, a sacred love, and they're not connected to that desire, or they're trying to avoid that desire, or they're too afraid of that desire. So that's when these traits come out, but their soul is actually craving like a monogamous sacred union. So again, that's why connecting with your heart and soul is so important. And then realizing what does that want, and also what does your body want. So especially for women, our yoni, our womb, like has sacred wisdom to share with us, and connecting with it and asking it if it feels aligned with being intimate with a partner before you do. Like you will receive like a natural opening or a message, or you'll receive your body like tensing up as like a no, like a closure even of your legs is a signal that like you do not want to be doing that right now. And you don't want to bypass your body's natural physical response to a person as well as its messages, because it's very wise. We want to honor those sacred parts of us. And then like the fairy tale energy as well. So there can be like this damsel in distress energy with the fairy, or like just wanting like, you know, someone to just be so romantic and sweep us off our feet. And it's not that that's a bad thing, but it can be unrealistic about, like, what it actually takes for a relationship to survive long term, and that can actually be harmful when you just have this fairy tale thought of this love story from a movie. Um, there's a lot more involved in sacred union, and it involves both people being devoted and putting in work, not just the woman doing absolutely nothing. Um, Partying too hard, overly prioritizing socialization and play, and like being in a fantasy world in detriment to responsibility. So again, obviously a lot of people, especially when they're younger, party a lot, and we go through that phase. And I don't regret that phase. I had an effing blast, okay? I somehow still crushed it in grad school, which I do not know how, because I should not have. And God was looking out. The fact that I slayed that shit, I do not know, but I also was able to rally so well. I just had it in me, okay? Um, so yeah, so that is a shadow aspect, and if you're in a phase in your life where it feels aligned, then go for it. But you might notice that certain things fall to the wayside that are responsibilities of yours when you overindulge in that stuff, and so it is about finding the balance and note and feeling like what's actually important to you, and having those soul-led goals so that you can make sure that your decisions are aligned with that, and then creating that balance. And then overly dreaming and not understanding the action steps required to manifest on earth, because as a human in this three-dimensional reality, it is a little more difficult to manifest. There are action steps that we must take. The energy is a little more dense than the ethereal realms. So we can be dreamers, and that's so important. But if you have a lot of fairy energy, you might be focused on the dreaming part and not putting in the work that I need to do right now to get to the dream. You might just be stuck in your imagination a little too much. And it's like manifestation requires two things. It requires the vision. So some of you struggle with that, or some of you have a ton of that. And then it also requires the tangible action steps that are aligned. And they go together like this, and that's how we manifest. All righty. Also, I will send this to you guys because I think it'd be helpful now that I'm realizing it. I can send it to you. So I guess if there's additional notes, if something really stands out to you, definitely take notes, but I can send you this as well, and then maybe write your own highlights of what was important to you. So now we're going to go into some methods we can use to start aligning our frequency and energy and reprogramming our subconscious mind. So this method was first channeled to me from Spirit by from Spirit for my membership girls, the Mystical and Fabulous membership girls. It's just a very easy acronym, and this is so simple. Literally simple as fuck, okay? It's the fact that you have to do it though. So you have to just do it, because This is the problem, is that we don't do it. We learn it here, we do it here, we leave the call, we go back into the ruminating negative thought. So this is the PSA. Do this and your life will change. But you have to take the action step, just like the fairy. We don't just want to, we want to take the action step. If you're noticing that you have a subconscious block, you're not manifesting something that you desire, you want to get your mind on board, do these practices. First one is the OR method. Literally, it just stands for O, observe the thought you're having. Usually you will use this if you're not feeling well, you're ruminating over something negative, you're having a negative thought that won't leave your mind, like, what if he leaves me? Or what if he, whatever. That's just an example. Because I work with a lot of people who ruminate over men. What if blank? Ask yourself if the thought is supportive and loving. So 99% of the time, the answer will be no to that question. If you're already not feeling good and having a ruminating thought and you brought yourself to using this method, the answer is probably going to be no. And then this is the important part. Replace the thought with a supportive and loving thought. So simple. Now, one note about the observe portion, actually. Observe this, and I want to make a little asterisk for you, without judgment. Okay. Observe this without judgment. That little judgment is something that can really hinder our self-love, and it's super sneaky. Because say we've been working on something for a while. We're working on believing that we are safe in our relationship. This should only be worked on if your partner is actually safe, though. Ask your heart first if this is an aligned partnership. If you get a yes and you realize that it's just your trauma and fear that are making you feel that he's not safe, this requires some inner work too to decipher this, because he actually may be unsafe, and so your intuition is telling you you're not safe with this man. But say great partner, safe partner, your intuition, your heart says yes, and you're trying to open your heart more to this person and feel more safe, and you've been working on it. If you notice that you're having this negative thought, and then you say, oh, the OR method, you observe it, you might judge yourself like, oh, why did I think that again? Like, I was doing so well. Or like, why do I keep having this thought? Like, this is so annoying. Like, I'm so fucking sick of having this damn thought. That right there, that energy is not self-loving, and that is self-judgment. That is guilt and shame type of energy, a very low vibrational energy. That is your block, probably, is that part. So that part is really important, that you say, oh, instead, this is what you want to say, like, okay, I'm having this thought again, but you know what? It's okay, because it's just my subconscious mind doing its thing. And I'm actually able to observe it now, and I'm going to choose to replace it with a supportive and loving thought. And that's amazing of me that I'm taking this action step. Like, I'm proud of you for doing this right now. Completely different energy, completely different way to treat yourself. One of them is self-loving and one of them is not. So when you have these deep rooted subconscious beliefs that usually come from past pain and trauma, maybe you were cheated on, maybe something happened with one of your parents, for example, you got to give yourself a break, because that deeply impacted your subconscious mind. So those thoughts are going to arise because it's deeply rooted inside of your body and mind and your nervous system. Your nervous system is connected to your subconscious mind. So instead of being so frustrated with yourself, notice that your choice to just observe and love yourself exactly as you are, and then just replace the thought, is so much more powerful and healing than judging the fuck out of yourself and then being like, okay, fine, I choose to believe that I'm safe. You're probably not doing much of anything if that's how you're replacing the thought, because the energy and frequency behind it is actually what matters more than the words themselves. So do your best to just give yourself a compassionate, loving understanding and lens, which is so healing. I'm telling you, just observing yourself as you are in every moment and loving those parts of you is self-love in action. That is it when you do that. And you can love yourself in the challenging moments. And then replace the thought with a supportive and loving thought. If it doesn't feel true to you yet, which will happen, like you'll have this thought that you think you could replace it to, like, I trust my partner fully, but that doesn't feel true. Let's change it to something that does feel true. So, because we want your body to believe it, and there's a frequency that we have when we're speaking truth that is powerful. So, let me think of an example for you. Um, the unloving and unsupportive thought could be, I am never going to be able to trust this person and get over this. Say someone betrayed your trust. Never going to be able to get over this. I'm always going to be worried about this, but I love this person, so what am I going to do? Because I can't leave them, but I'm never going to be able to get over this. The more that you say and believe that, it's going to be very difficult to get over it. Um, and then an example of observing it, and then you notice yourself, and you can start to notice yourself when it's repeating. That's kind of the trigger for you to be like, okay, like I've thought this thought a few times, I'm ruminating, I'm spiraling. Wait, let me catch it. Take a deep breath. Okay. I am having a difficult time with this right now, and that's okay. I'm observing the thought that I'm having. I'm having a thought that I won't be able to get over this and trust him again. But is this supportive and loving? No, it's not supporting the ultimate outcome that I want, which is that I actually want to be in a loving relationship with this person. And I believe in the possibility that I can heal from this. That's the outcome that I want. So what could I replace this with that would support that goal that I have, which is actually to continue to be with this person, but also feels true and aligned for you. So an example could be, I am doing my best to heal and restore trust in this relationship, and I am trusting that I'm on the path to doing that. Something like that. That is true and not, I trust you completely when you don't trust the person completely. I trust that I can do my best to trust this person again, or that I will trust this person again if that feels true to you. I've been betrayed before, and I've had my heart tell me, you will 100% heal from this. So then in that instance, I would be able to tell myself that as my supportive and loving thought. If I wasn't there yet, I trust when my heart told me that I will heal from this. And that would be my supportive and loving thought. So I choose to surrender to my soul's message, which I know is always right. And you will get to a point if you do the work where you will know that your soul and heart are always right. Takes practice though. Then then those can lead your supportive and loving thoughts, which is great. And it was true. I did fully forgive person, restored trust in the relationship. So this is why this is the or visual. This made me laugh. This little, you can see it moving up here. Okay. This is what I want you to picture though, even though it's kind of funny, and I couldn't really find like this beautiful divine fairy-like woman doing it. So you have this man in a t-shirt. But the or as a reminder of what method you should be using, the or method, as a reminder of the acronym, I am picturing this boat with oars, with wooden oars. And every time you do this method, you are literally moving towards your goal. That is like the image that I was shown, is that the waters are like the challenging emotional experience. And when you do this method, the oars are moving into the water and moving you a step closer to that island of paradise, that destination that you're trying to get to of manifesting something. So it's helping you move in that direction when you replace your thoughts. It's instantly moving you in the direction of your manifestation. So it's instant manifestation. Makes me think of the video you and your man's. Can you share more? Video. Share more. I can't remember which
The
one it is.
one you posted it for one of your anniversary posts, or maybe he posted it, I'm not sure, but I saw it on your story. And you guys were in your canoes and you were both
Oh,
rowing at the same time.
oh yeah. That is so sweet. And I love that you saw that. That was like the best post ever. It
It was
was like,
really sweet.
damn, okay, I see you, divine masculine. That was sick. Okay, one thing I am noticing is that I'm skipping. Ooh, I'm returning back. Was I skipping for you guys before visually? A little? Okay. Well, I look better now. Oh, I'm still kind of, we'll see. Yeah, we were kayaking in this beautiful lake. We went away. Oh, that was so amazing. And we saw so many hawks. Nature was speaking to us. God speaks through nature, my loves. When you start to notice, you will receive divine messages from God through nature. If there's a specific animal that comes to you while you're in nature, go look up the meaning of that spirit animal. I am telling you, if something's capturing your attention, you will be blown away by the messages of that animal and how much it resonates with exactly what you needed to hear. Okay? Because when we were on that boat, a main spirit animal for our union is a hawk, and there were nine of them floating, circling around. And 9, getting into numerology, is the number of endings and completions and death and rebirth. And then we also saw a bat, which symbolizes death and rebirth, and a bat flew by. And then we had like a huge rebirth and transformation in our relationship, like within a few days after that. So crazy. And then this I thought was funny when I was looking up visuals. And I thought it was cute because with a love reference, they look like they're just married and they're on this boat, but he cannot do it. He's trying so hard to row the boat and it's just like going crazy. And so that's kind of a little visual of what it might be like if you don't do this and your mind is all jumbled up and you have all of these negative beliefs inside of your relationship. You're not going anywhere, honey. You guys are going to be circling in these toxic cycles if you do not change your mindset. Okay. So let me see how we're doing for time. Okay. Do you feel that you guys can handle this one on your own so that we can do a practice all together? Like, does this feel clear enough that you can do this? I'm sure there's a thought you can even think of right now that you might have on a somewhat of a regular basis or have had recently. It could be a financial block even. I'm never gonna this or I'll always this. And you can practice this on your own. Yay! Everyone feels confident in this one. I love it. Great. So, and I will send you these slides. So you can have this, you'll see the method, and then I want you to do it. The doing it is the most important part. Cannot stress this enough. Not just coming to the class, doing it. Okay. What I do want to do together is an EFT tapping today. The emotional freedom technique. If you don't know, that's what it stands for. It works by tapping on various acupressure points on your body, and they signal the amygdala, which is a part of your brain that helps you relax and it helps you come out of fight or flight mode. So, even if you're just having like an anxious moment and you don't really know what you're trying to reprogram in terms of like a belief, but you just feel anxiety or you feel like you're in fight or flight mode, you can just tap on these points and you don't have to say anything and it will help your nervous system calm down and relax because it's accessing the amygdala. It's helping you relax and come out of fight or flight mode. And then we pair this with supportive and loving thoughts when appropriate, when there's something we are trying to transform in terms of our mindset, so that we can access our subconscious mind more easily and get those thoughts in there. It works faster than just saying affirmations when you pair them with the tapping. Lots of scientific data to support this one. These blow me away, especially the second one. So the first one study showed that a 1-hour EFT session reduced the patient's cortisol, which is the stress hormone, by 43%, whereas just having a talk therapy session with a therapist only reduced their stress cortisol by 19%. That's just from one. But in this one, 90% of veterans with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, after receiving 6 weekly EFT sessions, healed from the PTSD diagnosis. And only 4% of participants who received standard care, which I'm assuming involves some form of talk therapy, but it does not include the EFT, obviously. Okay, that is like, to me, wild. I mean, so this is the thing about EFT, just as with most things, you have to do it. And I'm also saying this to myself, guys, okay? You have to do it. I have this amazing toolbox, and it's like sometimes I'll be channeling spirit, like, what would help me? And they're like, the things that we've already told you a million fucking times. That's what would help you right now. I'm like, oh, yeah. All those things that I learned and help people do on a daily basis. I should probably just do it myself. So we do one session and it feels good, but then we don't usually do it again until we go to a class like this, or something gets really out of control and maybe a part of you says, I should try EFT today. But if you're really trying to heal from trauma stored in the body, if you're really trying to transform your mindset and make a notable shift, you do have to do it on a regular basis. So you will receive the recording to this. If this particular tapping resonates with you, you can just replay it and keep doing it. And if you do it once a day as part of a daily practice, notice in just a few weeks of doing it every day, the shift that you feel in your level of calmness in your nervous system, because it works pretty fast. I mean, this was only 6 weeks for the PTSD. And that's a diagnosed thing, PTSD. So 6 weeks. So see if you can make a little challenge for yourself and go for it. All right, so before we do the actual tapping, we are going to ground, which we already did some of that, but I would like to close our eyes so that we can visualize something that we can kind of have in mind when we're tapping. So I will invite you to get cozy and close down your eyes when you're ready. So it'll just be a couple minutes here. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, nice and slow, filling up all the way down to the root. Letting it go out the mouth and grounding on the exhale. And I want you to visualize a beautiful scene in nature. It could be a place that you have been to before that you just loved and felt so peaceful to you, or it can be some place that's just coming to mind that you've never even been before in this reality. But just start to visualize a place that would just bring you so much peace to be in nature. And I want you to start walking down this path. You look down at your feet and you notice what the path looks like under your feet. Maybe it's sand or dirt or grass or crystal or stone. Maybe seeing if you can even feel how it feels to be walking on this texture. Really connecting with your senses. Maybe you notice the temperature on your skin as you look up and begin to look around, find the sun. Look around and soak in all the beautiful colors that you see here. Maybe you notice the sound of waves crashing or water flowing or birds chirping. And then in the distance in front of you, you start to see this beautiful garden. And you realize that you're walking towards the garden. Maybe you see butterflies and even fairies flying around this garden. It looks so inviting to you. And as you get closer, you notice that there's a beautiful cozy bench in the middle of this garden. And you walk up to it and take a seat. Feels so good to be sitting here, but there's an empty seat next to you, and you get the feeling that someone's coming to join you. And then you look in the distance and you see your higher self starting to walk towards you. Now, they may look just like you, or they may have a different appearance that feels even more aligned and high vibrational, but you know deep in your heart that this is a higher vibrational version of you. A version of you that has released a lot of limiting beliefs from them already, and they're living from more of a soul-aligned place. And they walk up to you and sit next to you on the bench. And you embrace in a huge hug and just feel how amazing their energy feels to hug. Like, oh, it may even feel a little intense depending on their vibration level. Attempting to soak in some of that frequency they're emitting. And then loosening your embrace, looking them in the eyes and thanking them for coming to visit you. And if you have difficulty visualizing any of this, I want you to just ask your heart these questions as though your heart is your higher soul. So literally just bring your hand to your heart, connect with your heart, and ask your heart these questions. But if you're with me in the vision, we're looking at our higher self, we're thanking our higher self for being here. And you can thank through your heart, higher self, thank you for being here, ready to receive your messages. And I want you to just ask your higher self, can you please share with me some qualities of my most divine partnership, my most divine love? In that area of life, what is truly aligned for me? And just allow your higher self to send you these messages. It could just be a feeling or an inner knowing, or she could actually talk. Everyone has different psychic abilities. Sometimes we hear things, sometimes we just know things. Sometimes we ask yes or no questions to get the answer. But have this little conversation with your heart or your higher self and ask, what is truly most aligned for me in the department of love? And you can, if you have a specific question about a specific person, or whether or not a monogamous marriage or relationship is best for you, or if someone's aligned for you, you can ask a yes or no question as well to your heart. And you should be able to sense if one answer, yes or no, feels more right to you. thanking your heart for doing its best to communicate, trusting you received what you needed with that question today. And then asking your higher self one more question after thanking them. How does my soul want to dream bigger? What are some bigger dreams for me that would light up my soul? A potential follow-up question. Where am I limiting myself and my dreams right now? Where am I holding myself back? And lastly, what are some true qualities of my dream life, my dream soul aligned life? You could be told a word or shown a vision. And again, if yes or no's are easier for you, you can ask, is blank aligned for me? Is blank aligned with my dream life? See if you get a yes or no. Maybe even considering how much money you want to make. Maybe you have a limitation there that your soul says, yes, you are limiting yourself there right now to that as well. Thanking your heart and higher self for these messages, for this communication. Again, trusting you received what you needed today. And communication always gets clearer and clearer when we practice. And also, sometimes messages aren't clear because we aren't meant to have a clear answer just yet. So just trust yourself and what you received. If you're in the vision, give one more hug to your higher self and thank them as they walk away into the distance and you start walking back towards that path out of the garden, feeling the earth on your feet as you continue to walk, and eventually you grow these little fairy wings and fly back into your heart, into your body right now. Everyone placing a hand over your heart and womb, saying to your body and self, I am in here. I am fully in my body. Thank you, body, for doing your best to communicate to me. Thank you, higher self. I'm going to do my best to trust you and to dream bigger and in more aligned ways. I am ready, and so it is. Maybe taking some gentle movements, rubbing your arms or legs, giving yourself a little hug, swaying side to side to orient yourself back into this body, back into this now moment. And imagining the scene in front of you and the screen in front of you for a moment before you open your eyes and return to me. So, everyone has varying degrees of. Let's stop the share for one moment. Okay, good. Varying degrees of natural psychic ability and strengths. So, visualization is not everyone's strength. Clairvoyance is not everyone's strength. We have different clairs, which are like our intuitive psychic senses. So you may be a very visual person, you may not be. You may have more of an inner knowing or feeling capacity, and that's perfect. And you should always use what's best to you. But I did want to make the visualization available. And when you do practice more, it actually gets clearer over time. So I would love for you to just take a moment to get your journal out and write down anything that's top of mind as it just came through for you, something that you don't want to forget. Um, and I'll just put a little music on for 2 minutes just so you can write down some main points from your higher self. And then we'll close with the tapping practice.
Yeah, I'm healing with my sisters and we growing. Yeah, we growing like a lotus. Society can never label or control us. Spreading love will have your soul really glowing. Said I'm talking to the trees and to the birds. I just sit back, spread love and I learn. I don't say too much, I listen and observe. I don't say too much, I listen and observe. Yeah, I'm sipping on Blue Lotus. I read my books and cleanse my soul, bitch, I'm growing. I eat my greens and take my herbs, yeah, I'm glowing. It's the goddess energy, you better know it. Everybody went right, so I went left. Blue Lotus to fix my mess. Society got my mind stressed. Remind myself I'm so blessed. Decolonize my brain, reconnecting to my history. I will never ever be the same. Ancestors, ancient yogis. Only broken people judge, so I don't give a fuck. I don't say too much. Sip my blue lotus and look up to the stars. Yeah, we're gonna go.
And I'll give you one more minute to wrap up, but just kind of reminding you of some of the things that we asked. We asked about our soul aligned bigger dreams, where we could dream bigger. Okay, babe, good night. Love you. Where we could dream bigger. I was in a flow state. Let me connect with what we asked. You had an opportunity to ask yes or no questions. We also asked what was aligned in love for you. What was soul aligned for you in love? And we had an opportunity to also ask about money, where you might be holding yourself back as well, limiting yourself. Righty, so taking these last couple of seconds to finish up your thoughts. If you have more to write, you can finish after the call, but just write some bullet points if you want, so you don't forget to elaborate after the call. Having this information is going to support you in knowing what you can tap on. So we will be doing a tapping practice collectively together now before the call ends. And this is a more general one in believing in limitless possibilities. We'll be working on reprogramming our mind to believe in limitless possibilities. But if there's something specific that came through for you where you are limiting yourself, that would be an amazing thing for you to tap on. Is that. So once you learn the different meridian points of the body, where we will be tapping on, which I'll show you in a second, you can tap on those points and actually use your own affirmations of the beliefs that you want to reprogram into your mind. And I do recommend kind of watching a few different tapping videos to get a sense for the flow. But if you feel inspired and confident and you want to give it a try, don't hesitate to try to do it on your own, or even just tap on the points and visualize the dream life that you have available to you while you're tapping on the points, for example. There's a lot of different ways to go about using this modality. I will put in the chat one like tapping OG, Gala Darling. She has High Vibe Honey on YouTube, and she has a bunch of free tapping videos on there. She's fabulous. Definitely has fairy energy. She has pink hair. Then someone, Brad Yates, has a lot of YouTube videos as well. He is a little more dry and to the point. Depends on your vibe. But they are available to you. And then there's a bunch others, but those are two people who have like a pretty good collection. And I have a couple as well too. But mine are not on YouTube yet, but I have some on my IG and a lot of them in my programs because I do use this a lot in my programs. I did it in Fuck Yes Academy. I'm doing it in my upcoming fairy program and in my membership. But yeah, great modality, and you can definitely gain confidence with it and start to use it on your own. So let me share my screen. Actually, I don't think I need to, because all that this slide says is if something does not resonate with you, please do not repeat it. So what's going to happen? And I'm curious in the chat to know like who's done a lot of tapping before and who hasn't. I'm also curious to know, did you guys receive messages in our guided practice? You don't have to share what they were, but were you able to receive something from the practice? You want to let me know in the chat. And it's okay if it was difficult. And if you don't want to let me know that, you don't have to tell me either. But I love to just get a little like check-in from people on how we're doing, how something supported them, and if something feels new or not. I will go over it with everyone as though it is new though. Brand new. Yay, Amanda! Your higher self was present. Fairies popped in for Lauren. Yes. I know. I feel like people are probably more likely to type in the chat if the answer is yes. So that was probably dumb. Doesn't matter, but I just kind of wanted to check in, and I like to support people. And yay! Oh, I'm so glad, Megan, that this feels resonant. Yeah, you definitely have fairy energy, Megan. So welcome to the crew. Welcome to the collaborative. Welcome to the fairy community. Meet your people. Yay! Okay, you haven't tapped before. Fuck yes, that is so exciting. Yay. Okay, cool. You got a clear name of a fairy guide almost instantly. Ah, fuck yes. Look at your channel flowing. That's amazing. Cool. All right. So, my loves, there are different points that we will be tapping on. You saw them vividly. Megan, amazing. I love all of this so much. Okay, makes me so happy. Yay, Kim. I love it. I love that you're here. You were just like, okay, I'm in. See you soon. Let's do this shit. I love that energy. You have like down ass bitch energy, and I really love that about you. You're like, yeah, let's do it. Fucking love it. Okay, cool. Love it. So there's slight variation in different tappers, but most of the points will be pretty similar to what I'm about to do. And I will explain the general flow. And this call is going later than expected. And if you know me at all, that is accurate like the majority of the time. My fairy energy just gets flowing. So if you have to hop off, I totally understand, but I would love to do this practice with you. And then I do have cool announcements too. You will also receive the recording, but just acknowledging that I'm going later than I thought, and I'm sorry. So, we'll be tapping on these points, and then we will also be speaking. When we do tapping, we start by talking about the challenge that we're currently having. And that's something that I love about tapping, is that you don't bypass the problem that you're having, you actually talk about it exactly as it is at the beginning. So you say, even though blank is happening, even though I'm struggling with blank, I still choose to love and accept myself exactly as I am. And that is how the tappings will usually always start. And it's like setting this calming energy of self-acceptance. It kind of even relates to that OR method, the O, observing without judgment. You're observing without judgment when you start tapping, right? You're saying, I'm having this, but even though this is happening, I still choose to love and accept myself exactly as I am. That is so calming to the nervous system and so self-loving. And when we say that phrase, we will be tapping on this called the karate chop point of the hand. So we'll be tapping like this. And I will be doing these motions and you'll just be copying me. And I will be saying phrases and you will be repeating after me. So I'll say a phrase and then I'll stop to give you time to all say it in your own home. And then I'll say the next phrase and you'll repeat it and I'll give a pause for you to say it in your own home. And that's how it'll go. So you'll just repeat after me the whole time and tap in the same points as me. So this is where we'll be like, even though blank, I still choose to deeply love and accept myself. And then we'll go into like a little bit of a dialogue. And this I just completely do from a flow state. The more that you practice these, you'll be able to kind of flow on your own. But we have the other tapping points, which you can practice with me now just to start to get your body used to it, is tapping the wrists together. This one, sometimes I see not done, or sometimes I see like a certain part of the hand, but I've learned this way from multiple people, so this is the way I do it. You can also tap with one hand for the face, but I always do two. I feel like it's more likely that you're going to hit that point if you do two hands, and I don't like doing one side of the face. It feels weird to me, but Brad Yates only taps with one hand, so it's up to you. Pick what feels good to you. But the next one is going to be the top of your head with one or two hands. Then above the eyebrows, or some people do the third eye. You know what? Fairies want me to do third eye. We're doing third eye today. We're going to do third eye, then temples, then upper cheekbone below the eye, then above the top lip, below the bottom lip, right underneath the collarbones, And then the last one is on your side. And for women, they usually say it's where your bra strap would be. So it's like here. Just tap it. And then occasionally I've actually seen people even tap their rib cage. And sometimes that feels really nice. So I will do that one sometimes. I'm not going to do it today. But you're welcome to experiment with the tapping. And if you also randomly feel like a certain part of your body wants to be tapped, do it. Just follow that, please. Please, please always follow your intuition over anything structured. But this structure does have a scientific backing to it, so this has a purpose too. So we're just gonna flow. We're gonna do this. And usually how I like to start is I'll have us close our eyes for just a second and we'll say something. And I'm gonna ask you how true that statement feels on a scale from 1 to 10. That will kind of allow us to rate where we're at with that belief. And then after we tap, we're gonna ask ourselves the same question. And the hope is that we even got as little as a 0.5 higher on the 1 to 10 scale. So let's close down our eyes for a second. And what we're going to ask ourselves today, and you can, sometimes I put my hand on my heart to kind of just ask my heart and ask my body. And you're going to say to yourself, I believe that anything is possible for me in my life. I believe that anything is possible for me in my life. And how true does that statement feel to you on a 1 to 10 scale, with 10 being the most? No judgment about where you're at today. Maybe this call already inspired you and elevated your number. I believe that I have limitless possibilities. How true does that feel, 1 to 10? It might be very similar prompts. And then just take a quick moment to drop your hand and just notice how your body feels right now to get a gauge on how you're feeling. How the energy flow is in your body right now. Your energy level, any areas of anxiety. Without judgment, again, this is just so that we can see how we feel after the tapping. And then orienting yourself, picturing the room in front of you for a second before you open your eyes, which just helps your body feel more safe when you open your eyes. That's why we do that. You can join me again when you're ready and just either take a mental note of those ratings, or if you want, just write them down in your journal real quick, what your number was for how true those felt. And then we will check in after we tap and see how we're doing. And lastly, if something I say does not resonate with you, don't repeat it, because we're reprogramming our subconscious mind. So I don't want you to just copy me for the sake of copying me. If something I say is like, that doesn't apply to me, just don't say anything and just tap. And then don't repeat, and then just wait until one resonates with you to repeat it. Or if something comes to your mind that's like, oh, that one didn't resonate, but if I switch the wording a little bit, it will, and you feel like you can do that, you can always change it to something that feels true to you. Because the thing is that I'm doing this as a collective tapping, so this is for everyone. So it's very possible that something I say might not feel right to you. I will keep this one pretty general, but if that does happen, just don't repeat, and just know that you're still calming your nervous system and healing your nervous system by doing the tapping without the words. So let's just get into it and start with by tapping on the karate chop point of the hand. Even though, and you'll repeat that, my life circumstances right now may not match my dream life Even though I'm realizing that I may have a lot of limiting beliefs, I still choose to love and accept myself exactly as I am right now. Even though I may not feel fully aligned right now with my soul, I still choose compassion. I still choose to love and accept myself exactly as I am, trusting that I'm doing my best and I'm being divinely guided. Okay, now I invite you to open your eyes because we're going to start moving around with the tapping locations. And I want you to follow me as we switch. So we're going to go to wrist. Sometimes I'm frustrated by my life. And I wish things were different. So keep those eyes open because we're going to go a little faster. I wish I had more money sometimes. I wish my love life was different. Going to the third eye. Going to the temples. I wish I felt more fulfilled on the day-to-day. There's a lot of different things that I can judge about my life. And I'm realizing that I may have some limiting beliefs standing in my way. I'm noticing that I may be blocking myself from the soul-aligned life that I truly crave deep down. But that's okay. In fact, it's actually a part of being human is that we do have limiting beliefs. We do experience different traumas, whether big or small, that cause us to have fear. That cause us to create these self-protective mechanisms. There's parts of us that are trying to keep us safe. And actually, it's really divine and really wise of these parts of us that they're trying to keep us safe because they don't want us to get hurt. It's actually a beautiful thing that our body does. It's really good at trying to protect us. But sometimes it goes a little overboard. It thinks every little thing is a threat. And this isn't my fault. It's Probably because I've been hurt so much. It can be painful to be a human. So I choose to have some compassion for myself. And I choose to appreciate the parts of me that are actually just trying to do their job. They're trying to keep me safe because they love me. And I can do the work to find out from my heart and soul what is safe for me, what is aligned for me, and then work on transforming those limiting beliefs. In this moment, I'm starting that process. I am choosing to believe that anything is possible for me. And I'm choosing to believe that what my soul is guiding me towards is actually safe. I'm choosing to trust my soul. I'm choosing to trust my heart. I'm choosing to open up to the possibility that opening my heart a little more and following my soul's guidance and taking some soul aligned risks and connecting with soul aligned dreams are safe for me and so possible for me. I choose to believe now that there are endless possibilities for my life that are full of love, that are full of pleasure, and that are truly safe for me. I am ready to start dreaming bigger now. I am ready to live a more abundant life. I am ready to live a more aligned life. I am ready to believe that anything is possible. I am ready to feel limitless. I am ready to feel free. I am ready to feel safe feeling free. I am ready to release the blocks standing in my way of my most fulfilling life. And so it is. Stop tapping and close down your eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose letting it go out the mouth. And just noticing and observing how your body feels now after the tapping. How the energy is moving. Saying to yourself, with your hand on your heart, I believe that anything is possible for me in my life. How true does that feel on a scale of 1 to 10 in this moment? I believe there are limitless possibilities for me, available to me. Limitless possibilities. How true does that feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a moment of being proud of yourself for being here and doing this practice, devoting yourself and taking action towards a more fulfilled and aligned life. This is very powerful stuff. Thank you to you. Thank you, thank you. And again, taking a moment to just make some gentle movements and imagine, visualize the room in front of you for a moment to orient yourself back to the call before you open your eyes. Wow, my physical body feels so good right now. I noticed a huge shift in my physical body. Yeah, Megan feels amazing. Yeah, fuck yes. How are you feeling? Let me know in the chat. You can also feel really tired. That's a normal response. Sometimes you can also feel physically ill and nauseous. That doesn't typically happen. But if you do a very long tapping session, it can happen because your body is ready to purge some stuck energy. So all of that is normal. I do recommend buzzy in a good way. That is usually how I feel, Amanda. This time I felt so grounded, but usually I have this like little buzz. Drink a lot of water after tapping. You move a lot of energy, so it's really especially great to hydrate. For any type of energy practice you feel like you feel after Reiki. Fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Burping, yes, burping is super normal and amazing. That means you're releasing stuck and stored energy. Yawning is another one that can come as a release of energy, burps and yawns, and a release on your rib cage. Look at this. We love this. So it can absolutely release a ton of energy. Sometimes I have huge burping fits during these. This one really, I had this like anxiety in my chest. There's just so much going on in my life right now and today. And this tapping just like brought me into my root. Felt so good. So amazing. You will receive this recording to repeat as often as possible. I'm so happy those of you stayed. I do want to share something really quickly with you. We'll try to move through it fast. It's fairy related, and then actually both of them are fairy related. Both things are fairy related. Okay. I love this. I really love fairies. It's really what it boils down to. And the fact that I can literally, that like I'm channeling fairies. Like as a child, I didn't fully understand the extent that I would be able to incorporate fairies into my professional work. But it's fucking sick that it ended up being a real thing after all that. I love it. Oh, before I share, I have a new fairy thing to share with you, like I said. But before I do that, does anyone have a question or something that they would really like to share about anything that we went over today, you can pop it in the chat, or you can just pop off mute and ask your question. But I want to make sure everything was clear and I answer any questions that you may have, or if something powerful came through that you haven't shared yet, I'm here for it. So
Kelsey, this is Kim. I have a question on like EFT tapping. Like,
yeah,
how often would you do it, like in a normal day? You know, how much you would recommend it to do? And
in a day, that's a good question. I mean, usually I try to tell my girls to try to do it once a day. If there's something that you're really working towards, like a specific area that you're trying to reprogram, I would recommend just making a slot for it once a day to do it. You can absolutely do it more than that. You'll probably have more of an intense release if you do it more than that. You can also repeat it immediately after. So you can do as long as like a 45 to 60-minute tapping session. You
oh
can
wow.
just, this was a shorter one. When you do those, you'll probably have stronger physical symptoms, but it's in a good way. So, but if you're going to do one that's that long, you might want to time it appropriately, depending on what you were going to do right after, just in case. Gala Darling, the woman I recommended checking out on YouTube, she has a really incredible story of how she got into EFT tapping, because it's her main thing that she uses and promotes. She healed her eating disorder with EFT in a single session. She was doing it for at least an hour, and she ended up throwing up, but like this compulsive vomiting, and then she healed it after that. So you can do like an intense session, but create a container for yourself if you're going to do that, where you know you're in a safe space, you don't have obligations afterwards. Otherwise, if you're just trying to make it like a daily ritual, once a day is great. Maybe once in the morning, once before bed. Other than that, like I wouldn't worry about overdoing it. And when you're trying to accomplish something and stick with a new habit, I always try to make it something that's actually attainable and feels more easy. So that's why I don't necessarily recommend forcing yourself to do it more than once a day, because it's already hard enough sometimes to like do something every day. So give yourself like, I'm going to do this once a day, 10 minutes for 7 days. See if you can do it for 7 days, 10 minutes. That's amazing. And then if it feels good, you'll have that intrinsic motivation to keep doing it after that. So small attainable goals are ideal. That will keep it up. Good question.
Awesome, thank you.
Of course. Again, I loved fairies as a little girl. Yeah. You would go outside and imagine them all around you. Yes. Okay. So your connection with them ended a lot around the time of, Santa and the Easter Bunny. Excited to start connecting with them. You really felt them. Well, girl, you are definitely connected to spirit. And I'm sure you were actually really feeling them. And they are real. There's a lot of ethereal spiritual beings that exist in other dimensions and are around us that we can't always see. But if you have those attuned psychic senses, occasionally you can. So that is incredible. And kids have an easier connection to spirit for sure. Young kids, 100%. That's so special. I love this. Okay, great. Anyone else? Usually say going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay. You can always pop yourself off mute if anything else comes up. But I want to share this new offering, Fairy Queen, with you all. Okay. This is something like, it's only 5 weeks. It's just a 5-week, like, let's fucking do it for 5 weeks program that's going to start in just a few weeks from now. It just came through and it was just like, we're doing this and I'm gathering the fairies and we're going on a trip. So I'm very excited to whoever feels that calling that they're meant to be here. And I trust you will know if it's you. Oh, this was a cool Polaroid. There's bubbles around me. It was from this. I was using my unicorn bubble maker and then I like dropped it to the ground and he took the Polaroid picture. And I was like, what should I use for a fairy queen? And I was like, oh yeah, bubbles and crowns. Because this is fairy queen energy to me. It's like really being self-expressed fully, but you're like a boss babe, but your heart is also open. It's so the fairy queen, she creates magic everywhere she goes with ease. She treats life like a game that she's playing with curiosity. Now, life is a game. It is. There's a lot of game-like elements to life, and you can learn how to play with life and be curious about life and relate to life in that way so that it's not this huge, serious, daunting thing. And instead you're like curious, like a fairy. You're like, okay, this happened. So let me see, what if I try this? What if I play around in this way? Like that is like a much more high vibrational way to relate to life that makes it much less intense and more of like this cool game that your soul created for you that you just have to like figure out and you're being given all these clues. That is like part of fairy energy that I fucking love. Fairies are intuitive as fuck. They uncover hidden truths. They know the truth. They trust their truth. They trust their intuition. They're deeply connected to nature and the elements and internal and external seasons. So, of course, they're connected to what's going on inside of their body and they're connected to the seasons that are happening around them as well. And they're realizing that their life goes in seasons. They have their natural menstrual cycle that has its own seasons. They have their own deaths and rebirths. And there's also the seasons physically around them that are impacting them. So they have a connection to that and they know how to work with that. They dance through life and prioritize their joy. They know what's truly aligned for them, which we've talked about a lot today. They protect their energy without having an unnecessarily hard shell. They devote themselves to the ones who are worthy. They believe anything is possible, and they wave their magic wand to achieve it. So this starts in just a few weeks, Monday, June 24th, exact same time as this call. These are the week breakdowns. It does have a lot to do with love and relationships and self-love, okay? There's a focus on using fairy queen energy for those things. So it's for you if you're looking to harness these qualities. First one is fairy damsel versus fairy queen versus fairy divas. So this came through. The fairy damsel is the one who's just like, woe is me, and is like a victim mode mentality about things. And we can get stuck in our fairy damsel. So we're learning how to come out of that and step into the fairy queen energy. And then there's the fairy diva, which is like the one who is a little bit more, I was kind of describing her earlier, the fairy diva. She has more of like the hard shell and she's kind of closed off and like entitled and she thinks that she's empowered, but she's actually doesn't have an open heart. So we'll be talking about these different archetypes and I'm going to be teaching you how to work with them. Week 2 is called I Don't Need a King. It could be a queen too, or I'm not gender stereotyping. I'm just talking about the king as an archetype. So it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is or gender, but it's an archetype of a king. If you're someone who wants a king, week 2 is all going to be about self-love. It's going to be about how to be whole and complete within yourself. We're going to be doing somatic self-love practices so that you can feel the love you have for yourself within your body and doing healing work around that. Week 3 is, but I might want a king. So it's like, okay, week 2, we have the self-love, we have the wholeness within. Week 3 is, okay, but if I want a relationship, like, what do I do now? And there's something very specific that, because spirit channels all of these programs through me, and I just write down everything they say. I mean, it's a co-creative project with me and spirit, but of course, I'm involved in it. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. So in week 2, we'll be doing parts work as well. So connecting with our inner child, connecting with our inner teenager, connecting with ourself from past relationship trauma, and learning to give them the love and safety that they seek. That's the self-love work. Week 3, manifestation magic, learning how to connect with your soul to truly align with and receive its messages about your true aligned king and about if a divine union is truly aligned for you. This is where you can uncover what your soul truly wants for you in relationship and what that relationship looks like. And you can learn to manifest from a place of wholeness instead of manifesting from your victim, fairy, damsel, manifesting from your fairy diva. You can learn what parts of you are blocking your manifestation to the true love that you desire so that you can start manifesting from that way. And this could be relevant if you're in a relationship as well. You probably have some blocks that are creating challenges in your current relationship, so you can let your soul guide you into what you're actually trying to manifest in your own relationship now. Then we talk about courtship in week 4, which I'm actually really excited about because fairies are so playful and fun, and they know how to work with energy, which can really bring like a nice polarity and masculine feminine dance to a relationship that makes it really sexy and fun. So we'll learn how to play with energy with the fairy queen courtship, and also how to allow yourself to receive from the masculine, but then also, again, not being like entitled and overbearing. So learning that balance of masculine and feminine that will really support your courtship, where you're honoring your king and actually devoting yourself to the king, not just trying to receive, but not over giving and not like just being overbearing to try to help their every need because you're actually coming from a fairy damsel place or a fear-based place that they're going to leave you. So how to really like have that fuck yes relationship where you're courting each other and you both are treating each other like king and queen. And then week 5 is bridging heaven and earth. So it's honoring that bridge that you are between spirit and the earth, learning how to connect with that divine on a deeper level that lives within you, that God that lives within you. So this is going to be every Monday at 8 p.m. for only 5 weeks. And for the first round, it's only $333, and you can also split it into 2 payments of $177. And I just wanted to make it as accessible as possible so that we can just have fun, and I want a little fairy tribe. It's probably the only time I'm hosting it live. It may likely will become a recorded program that people can get in the future, but I definitely want to do a live round first, just so that you know. And there's also an extended 4-week payment plan if you did sign up this week that you could take advantage of. So also everyone who's on this call receives $33 off on top of that. So this is what it would be. $300 paid in full, 2 payments of $160, $50, or 4 biweekly payments of $80, $50. You sign up this week. That ends on Sunday at midnight PST. So 3 a.m. our time. If you are a Mystical and Fabulous member, most of my members are already at 6-month membership, so they receive an additional 22% off because my members receive incremental discounts based on their membership. And these are the different sign-up links. So if you want to join, you can click this link. The pay in full link is $300 only until Sunday. And these are the pricing plans. And I did want to show you this. So I'm going to show you what happens when you click it. Oh wait, I still need to share my screen. So when you click that, the first one brings you to, this is my store on my website. It'll bring you directly to this. And one cool thing about my website is there's also always this interest-free PayPal thing. So this is even cheaper for payments. You have to like be approved, but it's integrated into my website. So this is another option. This is 4 payments of $75. You can try for that too, if that works better for you. And then you just click add to cart. The discount's already here. If you're a member, you would receive the member discount at the checkout, but this is here. So I'm gonna put this in the chat in case you're interested. This one will take you to my subscription page. This is for the payment plan if you want the 2 payment plan, or if you don't get approved for the PayPal one, this is what I made for people who don't get approved for that. You scroll down, because I have a couple different subscriptions, but this is Fairy Queen Extended 4 payment plan. And this is the 2 payment plan, and those expire on Sunday. Those have the $33 removed from them. So that's that if you're interested in that. And the last slide before I say thank you is tomorrow there's a webinar. Ooh, I'm at 46%, Lauren. That's my number. Why would it say 46? That's my like angel number. 46%. That's really weird and specific. I love it. This is for anyone who might be interested in coming on the Radiance Revival retreat that Lauren and I are hosting. So this is in November. It's the 8th to the 12th. Yes, Lauren's on this call right now. Lauren is a sound healer, a Reiki master, a sacred ceremony facilitator, a yoga guide, amongst a lot of magical things, a soul sister, fairy queen. And this is happening during the 11/11 portal, 5 days and 4 nights. There is an option to stay at the resort an additional night if you feel inspired to just stay at the resort for a discount. But this is the like customized retreat dates. It's at this place, Palmaya, the House of Aya is the name of it. It's absolutely insane. Like it really freaking is. We looked at so many places and I could not. I was like, we have to have it at Palmaya. It's like Bali vibes, but in Mexico, a very short flight away from here and a way cheaper flight away from here. So I'm very excited. They have like an on-site shaman. They have ceremonies every day. They have cacao ceremony, forgiveness ceremony. They have art classes, dance classes. They have daily yoga, daily breath work. It's all inclusive. You all have your own private king suite. It includes like there's Michelin star chefs, the ingredients in the food is like organic and intentional food ingredients. It's like everything that we could have wanted in a resort that's in the Riviera Maya. Super close to Mayan ruins, so it has that energy. It's about an hour from Tulum. I used to live in Tulum. There's a lot of energy there, but this is a little less party Vegas and all the good parts of Tulum. But there is a really fun atmosphere here too. There's a beautiful balance. Like they have live DJ sets on the beach every night, and live music. But they also have all of these different wellness things. Incredible spa package. They have like Temezcal, all these things, sweat lodge. So Lauren and I are going to be hosting heart, womb, and soul-centered practices and ceremonies at this retreat, even including like a yoni steaming ritual, creating our own yoni steam herbal blends because Lauren is a yoni steam facilitator and she's a little like herbalist fairy over there. So we have things like that. We have somatic self-love and healing ceremonies, a sunset sound bath. We're doing an 11/11 golden goddess dance party on the beach. We'll have golden body paint. We're going to be wire wrapping our own crystal necklaces. We're going to be doing a lot. So we're going to be diving into everything that's involved in this retreat tomorrow. It's completely free. You receive the replay and everyone who comes will receive additional money off. Really not supposed to tell you what the bonus offer is, but it's a financial discount. So if you want to come to just the webinar, check it out. There will be a representative from Palmaya there who will be talking in depth about the resort offerings and everything. And then Lauren and I will talk about our offerings. We'll be learning to channel spirit guides there. It's going to be magical. Get my mediumship on. It's going to be great. Group dinners, opening, closing ceremonies. So if you want to join, I'll send you the link in the chat. And let's see. This is just to register for the webinar, and anyone who registers for the webinar receives the replay as well. And then there'll be probably about 5 days or so that you'll be able to access the additional bonus offer. But we are in early bird through the end of June. So our pricing is lower by a few $100s through the end of June already. And then you'll receive an additional bonus if you come to the webinar. there is a payment plan, extended payment plan. So it's $500 to secure your spot. And then there's a payment plan from there. And what else should I tell you before tomorrow? Oh yeah, we do have a referral bonus of $100. So if any of you know someone who would love to either come with you and you want to bring a bestie who's new to my community, or you're not going to be able to make it, but you have someone in mind and they do sign up for the retreat, we just Venmo you $100 as a thank you. So that's also available to you. Sharing with anyone. All of these are fairy things. Whatever floats your boat. And if this is all that floated your boat, regardless, I'm so happy that you came and did this tapping with me, stayed the whole time. Literally, I cannot believe how long this was. Time management for fairy babes. Not our strong suit, okay? But look at you guys yawning and just fucking being here till the end with me. This feels like love, and I appreciate you. I hope you sleep like a baby tonight. And I'm so just grateful that you joined me and to have connected with you. Megan is also bad with time management. It's just, we didn't choose the fairy life chose us, okay? But you can always leave whenever you need to, but I'm so grateful that I wasn't alone by the end of it. So thank you, and I will learn one of these days how time really works, okay? Or maybe I won't. I don't know. I love you. I hope you sleep well. I hope to connect with you soon. I hope to see you soon. Yes, Lauren, I'll see you tomorrow. And just sending so many blessings. Enjoy the impending summer. Yes, yes, yes. Fairies love it. Bye, babes.